Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to another question and answer session. This is the physiology portion of the MRCS Part A exam. Which of the substances below is derived primarily from the zona reticularis of the adrenal gland? So it is direct question that the substances it released from the zona reticularis of the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland is anatomically divided into the different part. Also the histologically they are divided into the different part, and from the different part different type of the chemical substances is released. Here the options are mineralocorticoid hormone, glucocorticoid hormone, sex hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, and vasopressin. So we have to find out a hormone or chemical substances which is released from the zona reticularis of the adrenal gland. So first of all, let's see the adrenal gland. Here we can see the different parts, but first of all, let's see the different location of the adrenal gland. So this is the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland, it is located upper pole of the kidney. First of all, the adrenal gland is divided into the adrenal cortex, which is the outer part, and adrenal medulla here, which is the inner part. So at first, adrenal gland divided into the adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. Then here we can see the adrenal cortex, the yellowish part, also divided into the three parts, and here we can see the most outer part, which is the zona glomerulosa. Here we can see the zona glomerulosa. Then middle part of the adrenal cortex, which is known as the zona fasciculata. So zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and most inner part is the zona reticularis. And it is easy to remember by a mnemonics, which is the GFR, glomerular filtration rate. But here the G is most outer part, which is zona glomerulosa, then F for zona fascicularis, and R for zona reticularis. So zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and zona reticularis from outside to inside, and they are the different part of the adrenal cortex. And here we can see the ZFR, which is the zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and zona reticularis. And here we can see glomerulosa, most outer part, reticularis, inner part, and middle part is zona fasciculata. And from the zona glomerulosa, there is important hormone release, which is the aldosterone. So this point is very important, that the aldosterone, it is released from the zona glomerulosa of the adrenal cortex, and this aldosterone is responsible for reabsorption of the sodium and water from the renal tubule, and it maintains the normal blood pressure. Then the middle part, which is the zona fasciculata, and from the zona fasciculata it releases the glucocorticoid hormone such as cortisol and other hormones. So cortisol and other glucocorticoid, they are released from the zona fasciculata layer. And finally androgen, which is the male and female sex hormone, they are released from the zona reticularis. So zona reticularis, it secretes the androgen. Here again, let's see the zona glomerulosa. From here, aldosterone secretion occurs, and this aldosterone is a mineralocorticoid. Then zona fasciculata, it causes release of the glucocorticoid, and they are the cortisol, corticosterone, and cortisone. And then finally, zona reticularis, from the zona reticularis, androgen, and this androgen is dehydroepiandrosterone and other hormones. And here we can see the inner part, which is the adrenal medulla, and from the adrenal medulla epinephrine and norepinephrine release. So again, the outer part of the, that means the cortex of the adrenal gland, there are three parts: zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and zona reticularis. And from the fasciculata, aldosterone, from glomerulosa, aldosterone, fasciculata, from fasciculata, cortisol, and from reticularis, dehydroepiandrosterone or androgen, and from the adrenal medulla epinephrine and norepinephrine release. So it is now ready, which is the zona reticularis, the mnemonic GFR. So reticular is most inner layer, and from the most inner layer the sex hormone release. So the sex hormone, which is the zona reticularis layer, they are released. And other options here, such as the mineralocorticoid, which is the aldosterone, which is aldosterone. So aldosterone, it is the mineralocorticoid, and this aldosterone is released from the outer layer, which is the zona glomerulosa. And this aldosterone is mainly responsible for reabsorption of the sodium chloride and water from the distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct, and they maintains the normal mineral concentration and water balance and also the blood pressure. Then here we can see the glucocorticoid, it is released from the zona fasciculata, and this zona fasciculata, it release different type of glucocorticoid hormone. And fourth option, which is the option D, this is the follicle stimulating hormone. And this follicle stimulating hormone, it is released from the anterior pituitary gland, and from the anterior pituitary they reach in the ovary and also in the testes. And in the ovary they causes stimulation of the follicular cell and their growth. And last of all, here we can see the vasopressin, which is also known as the ADAs, the another part of the ADAs. And this ADAs, it acts on the collecting tubule and collecting duct of the nephron, and it causes water reabsorption from the nephron, and it maintains mainly the water balance in our body, and it goes into the blood by the aquaporin. And vasopressin, another part of the ADAs, another portion or another isomer. And this vasopressin, it is responsible for pressing of the vessel. That means it causes constriction of the vessel, and it increases the blood pressure. So, and this vasopressin and ADAs, they are released from the posterior pituitary, they are released from the posterior pituitary, but follicle stimulating hormone, it released from anterior pituitary. Glucocorticoid, they are released from the zona fasciculata of the adrenal gland, and mineralocorticoid, they are released from the zona glomerulosa of the adrenal gland. Thank you all.